peeps, I'm Christina here. I am back with another video, and this one is going to be talking about Kim Jonghyun. I am very sorry for K-pop fans if I have butchered his last name. I am going to be talking about Kim and mental health, and it's just, yeah. For those of you that don't know who I am talking about or what I will be talking about, I will explain here in a minute. But first, I wanted to get this disclaimer out of the way. If you are a K-pop fan and you are watching this video, my intent is not to speak for the family, for the friends, for any of you guys. I myself being a K-pop fan. My opinions are not facts. I will try to be as correct in my information as possible. If I am incorrect with anything in this video, please call me out on it. Please let me know in the comments below. Email me and I will do my best to correct it. So like if there's annotations that I need to add or something like that, just let me know. All of this is just my opinion, and I will do my best to reiterate the information that I have and the information that I have researched on my own time. Had to get that out of the way. Oh, and I apologize in advance for butchering his last name. I will probably just keep calling him Kim from here on out, just because I have a difficult time with pronouncing his last name. So let's get this video started, shall we? If you are not a K-pop fan, Kim Jonghyun has been trending on Twitter and trending on social media and has blown up, and he is a Korean pop star, which is what K-pop stands for, like Korean pop. It's a genre of music and stuff like that. He was 27 years old, and he died on December 18th, 2017 from suicide. He was depressed. He had suicidal thoughts. He had mental health issues that some people were aware of, some people weren't, and he's been battling a lot of things for a long time. So Kim was found by his sister. I don't remember if she found him first and then called the police, or she was concerned and called the police on his behalf to have him get checked on. But he was found unconscious in his home or apartment or wherever he was. There are so many different news stories that are saying different things. So wherever he was found unconscious on the floor and pronounced dead the same day. In Korean culture, I believe there is a 3-day funeral service that happens. He died on the 18th, so the 19th and the 20th, they were having some public memorial services and stuff for fans and everything, and people who wanted to come. On December 21st, I believe, is when they will have a private ceremony, a private deal with just very close friends and family. And so far, as far as I know, they are keeping where he is buried to themselves, which I think is a good idea, because he has a lot of fans and they don't want to seem disrespectful to Kim. In Korean culture, you want to be very respectful, especially when it comes to things like this. So forgive me if I am wrong. Who was Kim? He was one of the singers of the Korean K-pop band called SHINee? I will put the word down in the screen. They were a group of 5 people, and it was Kim, Onu, K, Minho, and Taemin. Forgive me if I butchered their names. I never heard of them before this, and I had never heard of Kim before this, unfortunately. SHINee actually formed in 2008 with their album, The SHINee World. They had a bunch of albums together. Like, they blew up. They were so big. And in 2015, Kim decided to have a solo career, pretty much. And so he started on his solo career. He hosted his own radio show. So his first EP album, which is called Bass, came out in January 2015. His first compilation album, which is Story OP1, which came out in September of 2015. And then his first studio album, She Is, came out in May 2016, which was his very first studio album. And then Story OP2, his second compilation album, came out in April 2017. He was doing concerts, he was working, he was doing appearances and stuff. Like, he was working his butt off until what happened. It's crazy. So in Korea, from the information that I had gathered, in Korea, burning coal briquettes is a very popular form of suicide because you burn them off, and as they burn off, they give out carbon monoxide. And so you die from carbon monoxide poisoning. This might seem like a very strange video for me to make, and it probably is, but the reason that I attached to this story so much and so quickly was because of his mental health issues that he was dealing with, his demons, you know, depression, suicidal thoughts, and this, that, and the other thing, you know, and a lot of people who don't have those issues don't understand. Why would somebody take their own life? Why would they have those thoughts? As somebody who has been there and has had those thoughts before, it's hard for me to also look at people who have not gone through that stuff and don't understand it and be like, how can you not understand it, you know? Like, it's on both sides of the coin. Neither side really completely understand each other. So he was pronounced dead the same evening, the same day that he was found. They've been having funeral services, they've been having memorials and everything, and a lot of K-pop artists are flying in to pay their respects to him, and a lot of fans are paying their respects. When I was doing my research about him, and I was watching videos and videos, and I was watching music videos, and I was watching, I was listening to lyrics, and I was looking up lyrics and stuff like that, and I was watching interviews and reading articles, like tons of articles. The signs were all there. They were just really subtle. Sometimes they were in your face, but most of the time they were really subtle. A lot of people are like, I didn't know. Or, and the thing is, like, when you're depressed, you don't want people to know. Like, you do, but then you don't. Like, you hide it so well that sometimes you fool yourself almost. But you know that you're not okay. And even if you reach out, we feel like we are a burden to the people that we reach out to. We feel like we are nothing. We already feel so much guilt and shame and, you know, sadness, maybe even anger and this, that, and the other thing. We already feel all these different things. And we feel like we're bad people for feeling this way. We feel like we're terrible people for having this happen to us, for having these thoughts or anything like that. It makes it harder for us to reach out when we're in that black hole. We also internalize a lot of things. You know, you really kind of think about, like, how much of it is environmental. Because when we do reach out, a lot of people are just like, get over it. They just like wave their hand up, whatever. Okay, hey. And it's like, no, I mean, that's the Band-Aid. That's a Band-Aid. That's not gonna work. Like, that's a Band-Aid. Like, when it's that bad, that is not going to work. Like, that does nothing. In Korea, it is very taboo to talk about mental health. It is taboo to talk about suicide, to talk about any of the things like depression and stuff like that. It is taboo. You don't talk about it. You don't just say anything. And if you go to a therapist, that's taboo as well. Like, why are you going to a therapist? You are not considered a man, or, you know, it's like... And this is why people over there, like Korea, has one of the highest suicide rates in the world. And nobody talks about it. Everybody stuffs it inside. K-pop stars and non-K-pop stars alike. And it's crushing us. Mental health is worldwide. This is not just an American thing. This is not just an whatever country that pops into your head thing. This is worldwide. Because we are all, in the end, human beings just living our lives, trying to get through the day. A lot of us are struggling. I don't know much about Korean culture, but from what I've researched, when trying to become a K-pop star is very, very grueling and very, very demanding. I think even more demanding than American pop stars. I can't speak for everybody. That's just my opinion from what I've read. Your diet is monitored. Everything you say, everything you do, like, you are just like under this intense, grueling microscope 24/7. A lot of times in these contracts, you're not even allowed to have a relationship with anybody. So they basically own you for a couple of years. I don't remember, some contracts are like 7 years or something like that, and some are a little bit longer or shorter. I really don't know. I have not dived too much into it, but the grueling work that a K-pop star has to go through to stay a K-pop star, because, well, I mean, being a star has a time limit, unfortunately. And it's really grueling work. And people don't think about that, and people don't see that, and people don't realize that. Like, you are worked like a freaking mule all the time, especially when you have groups and you're doing dance routines and stuff like that. So everything has to be perfect and blah blah blah. There's this strive for perfection that is killing everybody, because number one, none of us are perfect. We will never reach perfection. Perfection honestly doesn't exist. That's the honest truth. Nobody is perfect in this world. Absolutely nobody. It doesn't matter who they are. Like, nobody is perfect. And if they seem too perfect, it's too good to be true. Because honestly, what we see on the internet is not everything. We can post all of the best pictures. We can, share this and that. But that doesn't mean anything. I could be posting happy pictures of my family, and then right after posting happy pictures of my family, be curled up in a corner somewhere bawling my eyes out, So nobody knows what goes on behind the scenes. And we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes with Kim. I think there were a few songs and stuff like that that really, really were a cry for help. His song Lonely and the music video to that. This is why mental health is so important to talk about. Because when you are taught to stuff everything inside and to think that you're the bad person for not reaching this level of perfect, it hurts you. It really hurts you on the inside. And you internalize it and you just feel like everything is your fault. Even if it's not happening to you, you feel like everything's your fault. I have a whole bunch of notes here that I've been kind of reading off of, but you know what? He was 27 years old. He was a songwriter, he was a singer, he was an artist. And throughout all of his work, he cried for help. And with his note, the last note that his friend shared with the world, he's like, just basically, tell me I did okay. Like, tell me I did good. Did I do good? Like, he worked so hard, but he wasn't happy. Jonghyun, Kim, wanted this message to be shared with the world, and I am going to, there are like two different variations, but they go along the same kind of lines. I am damaged from the inside. The depression that has been slowly eating away at me has completely swallowed me, and I couldn't win over it. I hated myself. I tried to hold on to breaking memories and yelled at myself to get a grip, but there was no answer. If I can't clear my breath, it's better to stop. I asked myself, who can take care of myself? It's only me. I was alone. It's easy to say I'll end things. It's hard to end things. I lived all this time because of that difficulty. They said I wanted to run away. That's true. I wanted to run away. From me. From you. I asked who it was. It was me. And it was me. And it was me again. I asked why I kept losing my memories. They said it was because of my personality. I see. It was my fault in the end. I wanted someone to notice, but no one noticed. No one met me, so of course they don't know I exist. I asked why people live. People just live. If I asked why people die, I guess they'd say they were tired. I suffered and I worried. I never learned how to turn my pain into happiness. Pain is just pain. They told me not to be like that. Why? I can't even end things the way I want? They told me to figure out why I was hurting. I know very well why. I'm hurting because of me. It's all my fault and because I'm bad. Doctor, is this what you wanted to hear? No, I didn't do anything wrong. When the doctor blamed my personality with a quiet voice, I thought it was so easy to be a doctor. It's amazing how much I'm hurting. People who are hurting more live well. People weaker than me live well. I guess not. Out of everyone alive, there's no one hurting more than I am, and there's no one weaker than I am. But they said I should live. I asked why so many times, but it's not for me. It's for you. I want it to be for me. Don't say things that don't make sense. Figure out why I'm hurting? I told you why. Why I was hurting. Is it not okay to be hurting this much because of that? Do I need a more dramatic detail? I need more of a story? I told you why. Were you not listening? Things I can win over don't end in scars. It wasn't my place to clash with the world. It wasn't my life to be known to the world. They said that was why I was hurting more, because I had clashed with the world, because I was known to the world. Why did I choose this? That's funny. It's a miracle I lasted this far. What more can I say? Just tell me I worked hard. That it was good of me to come this far. That I worked hard. Even if you can't smile as you let me go, please don't blame me. I worked hard. I really did work hard. Goodbye. Just tell me I worked hard. This is why mental health is so important to study and talk about. I know in Korea there's a stigma. There's still, I don't talk about it. You don't talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Or if you say that you are going to therapy or something like that, people will think you're crazy and insane and you can't get a job or something like that, so you just don't talk about it. That hurts. That hurts the people that want to talk about it, but they can't because of that fear. There are other K-pop stars that were reaching out after Kim died and were saying different statements and stuff, and I saw a lot of them related to Kim. And a lot of them actually talked with Kim about their mental health. It's a shame that they have to do that behind closed doors. You are not less of a man or a person because you're going to therapy. You are not less than. You are not the worst person in the world because you feel this way. You are not bad. You are not awful. You are not alone. And for a long time I felt this is something that I'm still working on in therapy. Like I'm still feeling, sometimes I have feelings where I still just don't feel like I'm good enough, or I feel like I'm doing something wrong. For a long time I cried almost every night for a very, very long time. Very, very long time, that I thought everything was my fault. But it wasn't my fault. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't. And I know Korean culture is very different from American culture. And even in America, a lot of people still don't talk about it because there's such a stigma behind it that you're weak or you're less than, but you're not. It's not weak to share it. You're not less than. You're you. We also need to teach our children healthy coping mechanisms. I'm still working on figuring out my healthy coping mechanisms that I need to work on. It is hard because you have to rewire a lot of things that you grew up with and were ingrained with, and that is so hard because it'll take months, it'll take years even. I felt really sad, and I felt connected to this story in a way that I shouldn't have had to connect to this story, because I've had those thoughts, I've felt those feelings, I've felt everything that he has felt. I cannot speak for Kim. I will not speak for Kim. I will not speak for the K-pop fans. I wanted to talk about this story because I related to it. And I don't know if any of you guys have also related to it. I've been listening to his music. I had to do a little digging on YouTube, but I've been listening to his music and his band, music and stuff like that. Korea doesn't realize that not talking about it is part of the problem. It's not just sweep it under the rug, you'll get over it, or anything like that. When someone is truly hurting, we have such a hard time reaching out. We will be that compassionate person for somebody, but we find it so hard to reach out when we are in a lot of pain, and that Kim was in a lot of pain. He was compassionate, he was very giving, like he was that person for somebody else, but he didn't feel like somebody else could be that person for him. He felt like he couldn't talk about it, or even if he did talk about it with friends, like he did talk about it with some people, like very, very close people, but it's like you don't talk openly about it to the world. We all need to be aware of what we say and do to each other from being babies into adulthood. We need to be aware of everything that we do and say, because that affects us growing up as adults. He was 27 years old, 2 years younger than me. Maybe that's also part of why I feel close to this story. I still struggle with being that person sometimes. Like I still struggle with depression and everything else. This is so hard, like I don't want to cry. Don't want to cry. You know what? I'm gonna close my laptop. I'm gonna close my notes. Kim, you did well. You did good. And I'm sorry that your demons got a hold of you. And I'm sorry that you felt so lonely and afraid and scared and sad. And I am so sorry that if you reached out to anybody, that they may have turned you down or swept it under the rug or told you not to talk about it or asked you, why are you like this? It's not your fault. It was never your fault. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that mental health is not taken seriously. You did well. You did good. You were good enough. You were good enough. In America, or even worldwide, the holidays are a very, very hard time for a lot of people. And the rate of suicide is extremely high between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve. It is very high around the holidays. And I want you guys to love each other. I want you guys to reach out to each other. I want you guys to have compassion. I want you guys to just love and be kind. And remember that not everybody is having the best day all the time. If you have this gut feeling talking to your friend or family, or if you have this gut feeling that something is wrong when you are talking with them and they say, oh, I'm fine, don't ignore it. Go home with them, talk with them, be there for them, and have somebody there for you too. It's okay to have somebody. It's okay to be there for somebody. It's not weak. I know it is so hard for those with depression to reach out. We already feel terrible. We already feel shame. We already feel guilt. We already feel all these different things. I know it is so hard to reach out to family and friends. I'm going to put all of the suicide hotlines in my description box. I hope you guys are safe this holiday season. I hope that family and friends, and even if you're alone and you're just chilling at home, I hope you're happy, truly happy. This video ended on a strange note. Just be careful this holiday season. I know the Kim story and Christmas, they have nothing to do with each other. It's just, I know right now a lot of people are struggling. Stay safe, love each other, have compassion, be kind, don't be a jerk. I don't think I really got out what I was going to say, but this is why it's so important to talk about this. It's so important to talk about mental health. His bandmates are going to be leaders in his funeral service, and it's usually the brothers and the man of the household. As far as I've read, he's kind of estranged with his dad. I'm not really sure on that topic, and he only has one sister. So they gave it to his bandmates, and that is a great honor. I think they'll do right by him. So I'm going to go and spend time with my family and listen to some more K-pop. I hope all of you guys have a wonderful and safe and happy holiday season, and let's just be there for each other, okay? I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.